Hello?
Disclaimer. This video exists for the purposes of entertainment, education, and theory rebuttal. This video is not an attack on the creator of the theory, nor will it, unless otherwise stated, address the theory creator personally. Instead, the creator's name in this video will be used as either a name to address the theory by, or to address the assumed mindset of the creator at the time of this video's creation. Unless there is substantial evidence, it is not assumed the creator still stands behind the video in question. If you harass or witch hunt anyone involved with this video, I will personally disown you. Thank you.
Welcome back to my little corner of controversy. Today we're going to be talking about a Luigi's Mansion theory that's been floating around for right near forever. You can probably even gather the gist of it from the opening bit if you're savvy on the Mario theory community. In fact, it's probably one of the most infamous theories we have. For those of you that aren't in the know, though, don't worry. All will be explained. Now, today's video was made by a channel known as Tetrabit Gaming. Really though, Tetrabit is actually better known for other kinds of gaming videos of all different shapes, sizes, and forms that aren't theories. This one's a theory though, because garbage. So allow me to talk to 2015 Tetrabit for a while as we dive right into "Is Luigi dead?" Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Care to introduce us to our theory, Tetrabit?
As you progress in the game, eventually there comes a point where the power to the house gets knocked out and all the lights go off. For its time, Luigi's Mansion had a really neat dynamic lighting system, which accurately portrayed shadows created by objects, and this was especially cool, and it helped the mood of the game, as you could see the shadows of objects accurately displayed. Eventually you find yourself in a room where the telephone starts to ring. You answer it to hear Toad on the other end. Wait, did you see that shadow? It looks off, to say the least. His shadow looks very static, his arms and legs appear limp, and it appears he is hovering above the ground. It almost looks as if Luigi had hung himself.
Welcome to the Luigi hung himself myth, aka people don't know how making games works, period. As it has been explained many times in the past, this image actually comes from the fact that the camera is placed in an angle that it isn't usually in for this cutscene, but the lighting from the lightning isn't modified to compensate for this. Thus, Luigi's shadow is cast at a strange angle when the lightning strikes. The shadow wasn't intentionally placed there. It's a lighting glitch. Secondly, if we look at the image a little more closely, we can see that the "looks very static" and "arms and legs appear limp" comments also don't hold much water. When the lightning strikes, Luigi isn't moving all that much, so it makes sense that the shadow wouldn't move either. His legs are in the same position, and I don't even know what's being interpreted as an arm here. It's seriously hard to make out any defining features of the shadow with this beam in the way, but it's clearly not Luigi hanging himself.
Now I know what a lot of you might be thinking. It's probably just a camera glitch. Although that is definitely possible, one would challenge that why nothing of the sort ever happens in any other point in the entire game.
Hanging Luigi glitch. This is a lighting glitch in which Luigi's shadow appears to be floating whenever lightning strikes. This glitch has been mistakenly thought to be an Easter egg, apparently showing that Luigi hung himself, though this has been debunked by the fact that it appears multiple times throughout the game in awkward places. It is caused by abnormal camera angles in select situations. It can sometimes be seen when talking with certain toads, as well as when speaking with Professor Egad over the Game Boy Horror. In any room lightning can be seen, as well as in the telephone room while speaking on one of the telephones. Basically, since this glitch is most noticeable in the telephone room, this is the only time anybody really notices it. Thus the misconception arises that this is the only place in the game where this happens, when that's just straight up not true. It likely happens because the angle of the lightning doesn't change when the camera angle changes. Thus, when the lightning flashes, the light comes up from under Luigi instead of straight in front of him, casting the shadow upward at a strange angle. There. Hanging Luigi glitch debunked. Hooray.
Also, how could Luigi have answered the phone if the power was out?
Somebody's never heard of phone lines that are separate from power lines and don't go out when the power goes out.
There are other small hints throughout the game hinting at this theory. Firstly, it is shown that Luigi had won a house from a contest which he never recalls entering, filled with many non-Boo-like ghosts, which are never before seen in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Luigi wins a mansion in a contest he didn't enter and sees a bunch of ghosts he's never seen before. Oh no, guys, I guess that means Luigi's dead. How does this make Luigi dead?
I also noticed that if Luigi tries to take a selfie in one of the bathrooms,
it scans things, it doesn't take pictures. Get out of my house!
He does not appear in the reflection like he does in other mirrors around the house. Why would that be?
The bigger question is, why does he appear in some mirrors but not others? Seriously, I don't even know why this wasn't an option that was considered.
And whenever Luigi does take a picture of any mirror, it appears that the laws of physics are completely ignored as Luigi's mind melts and his body is reset back to the starting room. Pretty weird for your typical Mario game if you ask me.
How does this make Luigi dead?
It is rumored that Luigi's Mansion was initially supposed to be a much creepier game for more mature audiences. And this is evident in the Luigi's Mansion early beta videos, which features ghosts which don't appear in the final cut, as well as images of Luigi in which he appears very disheveled, sad, and just odd.
Oh, goody! Using beta/cut content to try to prove a theory. Say it with me, guys. If it was scrapped, then it's not a thing, period. It doesn't matter if it was there at one point and now it's not. If it's scrapped, it's off the table and you're not allowed to use it to prove your theories. That's like reading the first draft of a story that's had 10 major revisions and saying, yep, this thing that the author took out in the final version is totally canon. Never use scrapped content to prove a theory. Ever.
Could it be really that this game is just a depiction of Luigi's struggling to deal with his inner ghosts? That's for you to decide.
Luigi's Mansion happened. End of story.
The first theory we're going to talk about...
Whoa, hold up! This is not the same video! Yeah, with Tetrabit's video being so short, I had to find something else to do in this video. Thankfully, I found some related content. Say hello to Connor the Waffle, another gaming YouTuber who also does theories, and he has actually a lot of them. I might go over more of his in the future, but today we're doing this one. This video in particular is going to go over several different Luigi's Mansion theories. I'll be ripping apart all of them. Ready?
The first theory we're going to talk about revolves around something pretty scary. The Poltergust 3000! The Poltergust 3000 was a weapon created by Professor Egad to defend yourself from ghosts by sucking them up. And while at first glance, it may just seem to be another random piece of technology, it's possible that the Poltergust itself is actually alive.
What?
Some kind of living entity, a creature of sorts, that feeds off of souls. Or in this case, the ghosts.
So you're saying the Poltergust eats souls? And what evidence do we have for this, Connor?
Every other minor ghost you find throughout the mansion straight up gets eaten and devoured by the Poltergust. It's why the ghosts always panic and start to freak out when you start sucking them up. They don't really want to get metaphysically digested by this soul eater. Not that one.
Hey, Maka. What? Connor the Waffle. Shut up, Soul. Don't you take the name of Soul Eater Evans in vain. I pressed the record button and I can't stop laughing.
And let's not forget, the Poltergust was invented by Dr. Egad, who also invented the Flood from Super Mario Sunshine. And if you recall, the Flood pretty much had a mind of its own, being able to show emotion and communicate. So if the Flood was pretty much a living being, why not the Poltergust? Just being a little more demonic.
The Poltergust never speaks, moves on its own, nor shows any signs that it is either alive or sentient. It's a lifeless machine, and its only purpose is to contain ghosts. Yeah, you heard me. Contain ghosts. Did you forget that the Poltergust can also spit these ghosts right back out? The Ghost Portrificationizer is a thing after all, and if you're about to say that this doesn't apply to the minor ghosts, then the ball is in your court. You have to prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Poltergust is alive before I can believe that it devours ghosts as food. There is more evidence to suggest the contrary than there is to actually support this theory. End of story.
That idea, however, is a little more wacky and fun than it is scary.
I don't know. If this theory actually had good evidence backing it up, I'd say it would be terrifying to think that Egad created a sentient being that feeds on the souls of the dead. Just think. If you were a ghost in this mansion, you'd roam in constant fear of being devoured by a demonic machine, its one drive being the primal urge to consume with a bottomless, ravenous appetite, always wanting more, until, finally, it catches you in its cyclonic pull. You struggle and fight, screaming for mercy until your strength finally wanes and your ghostly form resigns to its own demise to be torn apart in the maw of a demon. A demon never satisfied by a kill. A demon always searching for more. On to Theory 2! Hope you sleep well tonight!
So, let's talk about a few creepy ideas behind Luigi's mansion. Such as Chauncey, the baby you encounter early on in the game. However, Chauncey's bio says that he was born as a ghost, but that's not how things really work. Especially since his parents, Lydia and Neville, the two adult parent ghosts you encounter before Chauncey, were once alive and once human.
Proof? We don't need proof. We can just say whatever we want to with absolutely zero proof. Just take my word for it, guys. To be absolutely fair, Neville's bio states that he was once living. Lydia's, though, says no such thing. And no, the word afterlife is not proof because the word can be used as a cheeky way of referring to a ghost's existence without using the word life, which would create an oxymoron as ghosts aren't alive. Now, you might say I'm nitpicking here, but the point is that Connor is assuming way too much here. I'm not even really talking about whether or not Lydia was once alive or not. I'm saying that Connor is assuming that two ghost parents can't have a ghost baby without the need for it to ever be alive. This is the Mario universe we're talking about. A universe that obviously doesn't play by the same rules as our world. Heck, just look at the Clockwork Soldiers from this very same game. They're ghosts of toys. How are you gonna explain that one, Connor?
Realistic death is kind of a reoccurring theme with this game, such as the possible theory that Luigi himself commits suicide during the events of this game.
Wow, that's some pretty strong deja vu right there. It's almost like I just talked about this theory. Yeah, I'm mostly going to be skipping over this one, but I do have a couple things to add.
You'll quickly notice that it's pretty dark up there, with the main source of light being when the phone rings. And when you answer this phone, lightning will strike, and the room gets more visible.
The lightning striking has nothing to do with picking up the phone. The lightning just strikes whenever it wants to. The phone has no correlation to the lightning.
This room then reveals a very disturbing secret, a shadow of Luigi. But this shadow seems different from whatever Luigi is actually doing.
Besides the shadow being cast at a strange angle, which we already determined is a glitch, name me one thing that is different between Luigi's posing when he answers the phone and the shadows.
The shadow looks like he's hanging himself.
You know what? No! I'm done with this! If this shadow was supposed to depict Luigi hanging himself, why are his feet at the angle they are? If Luigi was hanging from the ceiling, his toes would point to the floor. Then there's the killing blow. You can see the table that the phone is on in the shadow. It's right hecking there. I'm skipping ahead to the next theory, although I would like to point out that right in the middle of the video, Connor plays a random Japanese Luigi's Mansion trailer and then this screen pops up. The first time I watched this video, I thought it was an outro, before I moved my mouse and saw that the video was only halfway over. I don't know what these are doing here, but it's tacky.
And there's still a ton of creepy and weird things going on in this mansion. For example, Bogmire. What is he? Every single portrait ghost that you encounter in this game has some sort of human or animal looking feature. Like, oh yeah, that was definitely a human at some point. Or, yup, doggo.
This ghost breathes fire. That shouldn't even be called a human. This is a boo. These are toys. I don't even know what the heck this is. Case in point, there's a lot more strange ghosts than just Bogmire.
But what is Bogmire? This weird, melted creature. He's the only portrait ghost that doesn't resemble something that was once alive.
And this does?
So, what exactly is he? Why are you weird? You weirdo.
Bogmire, a product of the mansion's fear and despair. He's not sure who to fear or what to despair these days. Get good, scrub. He's despair.
And then there's the doors. Why do they shut on their own and get pointy? Stupid doors.
Well, the ghosts need to trap Luigi somehow.
How about this scene? This is genuinely a creepy moment, and still freaks me out today. The darkness, the eerie music, the shaking portraits, and there's even a voice that says, "Here they come." But who says it exactly? None of these portraits say it. It's a voice that we never ever find out about.
Besides the fact that it's likely just the ghosts that appear later in the room that are making the paintings move and saying these things, and the fact that this is literally a game about a haunted mansion, what were you expecting? Why does it matter? If we knew the identity of this voice, what would change? If it were literally any ghost in this game, including King Boo himself, what would change?
But what is the true horror of Luigi's Mansion? What's the scariest thing that Luigi encounters in this game? It's the possibility of losing his brother.
You have got to be kidding me. This last 3-minute long part has more sap in it than a pine tree and only hammers home that literally the entire second half of this video has absolutely no theories in it. It's literally just pointing out creepy, supposedly unexplained things, then getting sappy about Luigi's relationship with his brother. While I don't really have any problem with anything said during the sap fest, it and the rest of the second half of this video really seem like they're just filler designed to push this video above the 10-minute mark. Don't think I didn't notice that this video is conveniently just a couple seconds over that mark, Connor. I've got your number. So what did we learn today, kids? We learned that the Luigi hung himself myth is stupid, and that there are a lot of stupid theories surrounding Luigi's Mansion, and that we definitely could have stopped watching Connor's video after that part in the middle that I definitely thought was an outro, and we could have missed out on pretty much nothing. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's a ghost in my kitchen, and it's eating all the toaster waffles. Time to go get the vacuum.